Oh, all black everything. We've been matchy lately.
This is a new brand. They sent me some clothes, and it's like buttery smooth. Feel how soft it is.
Oh, what brand is that?
Beneath. You know Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
It's like his brand.
Do you know that I went and saw the Minecraft movie?
Is it good? He's wearing their underwear in it.
He is. It legitimately, like, I don't know anything about Minecraft. Nothing. And it legitimately wasn't, it was pretty funny.
Huh.
Like, I felt like it was kind of funny. Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of King of the Court. We are your hosts, Tyler and
Jimmy.
The infamous Jimmy. So, quick story. Jimmy shows up to my house on time today to record this podcast, and I see his car parked outside my house, and I'm like, all right, he's going to come up to the door. I get a text from him 25 minutes after the time we were supposed to start. Hey, sorry, I'm on the phone. I'm doing some research.
Yeah, I had
45 minutes go by, and he shows up to the door. So 45 minutes late.
I know, I was on time, but
45 minutes late.
Listen, we want to bring you guys all the deets.
45 minutes late.
And we wanted to get the details from the source.
Can you not do that before? You got to plan for these things.
No, I can't control when people are available.
You actually can. You can say, hey, I have this time. I'm free.
I understand. And they weren't. And so I went out and I
thought you were turning a new leaf this year.
I was here on time.
But you didn't enter.
Well, last time let's just remind everybody really quick, because I didn't call you out and put you on blast.
But you can put me on blast when I do things wrong.
Last week I came to your house and I stood outside your house for 15 minutes knocking on the door. And you said...
What? It wasn't the start time. It wasn't the time that we had agreed upon.
I was here at 9:56 and you said, you're not supposed to be here till 10.
Till 10 o'clock.
I was in the shower.
I was in the shower.
So I'm supposed to stand on your porch for...
You're supposed to arrive at 10 o'clock.
Oh my, get out of here. This guy. All right.
Welcome back. A couple announcements from our sponsors, our incredible, endearing, lovely sponsors. The Picklr, who is the title sponsor of this show.
The Picklr.
They have the best of the best tournament going on. So go to your nearest Picklr location and get signed up. They're doing this tournament all across all of the Picklrs. And what they're doing is if you win your division, whatever it might be, they take those teams and you can compete against these other teams. So it's a fun tournament event that they have going on.
Yeah, they're doing they'll do a national finals at the Kaysville Picklr, which if you haven't been to the Kaysville Picklr, it's like the corporate offices, but it's kind of like the
creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme. Good one.
Is that right?
Yeah, they like it's almost like the test. They
kind of modeled it after that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible. So they're going to do men's, women's, and mixed brackets. It's round robin to a single elimination bracket. And then the winners from each club will move on. And you get to represent the Picklr if you win it all.
Your Picklr as well.
Your Picklr. Yeah. But also, if you win it all and you go to Kaysville National Finals and win that, you get to play at the 2025 Minor League Pickleball Nationals.
Wow.
Representing
straight shots like a golden ticket.
Yeah, like a golden ticket. I got a golden ticket. You ever seen that movie?
Stop. I don't know what it is, but don't do that.
You've never seen that movie?
What is it?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
I've seen that. That's actually a good one.
Okay.
Timothy Chalamet.
No, I'm talking I'm talking original. The OG.
I think I've seen that one too.
With, what's that guy's name?
I don't know. The one that stays in bed all day? The grandpa?
Yeah, Grandpa Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for the support, Picklr. If you're interested in learning more about the franchise side of the business, reach out to them at thepicklr.com and tell them the guys at KOTC sent you. Also, Stack Athletics is partnering with us to release their new spring-summer collection. It is straight fire, incredible prints, incredible colors, incredible quality. Go check them out. So many players are wearing them. Really good options out there.
Yeah, so Tyler, I saw this picture. So I feel like she's as famous as most pro players because she's all over the place and all over the screen. But Ireland was rocking some Stack.
She was. Was it the leopard print?
Yeah. And I just want to say,
good, Ireland.
Yeah, I just want to say that go follow Ireland, and if you see that picture, I promise you that you will go buy Stack right away.
Yeah. Use code KOTC at checkout.
KOTC.
It supports us, gives you the best price possible.
Yes. You could also go stackathletics.com /KOTC. That's our affiliate link.
Yep.
I mean, everything is amazing. That spring line, they have pants now. They have polos. So
They have a lot to choose from.
go check them out. Yes. Go support us. Supports the pod. Also, you look fly when you're playing pickleball.
Very true. Also, Pickleball Central, the #1 online retailer for all things pickleball, pickleball paddles, bags, balls, whatever it is, you name it.
Balls and
Click
bags.
the link below in the description for the code to automatically apply to your order. And last but not least, we also have a code for all PPA and MLP tournaments. Use code KOTC at checkout if you're spectating. I had a couple people come up to me this last weekend at MLP and said, I'm here and your code got me in.
Yes. Hey, our code, we just talked to PPA and MLP.
People are using it.
People are using it. We love it. So go use it. MLP Columbus this weekend.
Yes.
Are you playing in that? You guys playing that?
We are not.
There is 0 time off. Quick turnaround. MLP Columbus is this weekend. A lot of players are going straight from Orlando to Columbus.
Most are going straight. Yeah.
So if you need tickets, you want to go watch CJ Klinger in his hometown. What's CJ's? What's CJ stand for?
Carson James. I
Carson
don't know.
James? Carson Jr.?
I don't know.
Corey Johnson?
Corey Jimmy.
Could be. If they're smart. It's got to be. If it's James, they crushed it.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you want to go see CJ Klinger, you want to go see Diescu, Leia Jansen, Paris Todd, the home team Columbus Sliders, or anybody else that's going to be playing in that event, use code KOTC.
All right. Real quick. NBA playoffs have been straight fire.
NBA playoffs.
Have you been watching any?
Tyler.
Did you see the buzzer beater with Aaron Gordon?
Yeah. Was it out of his hand?
It was out of his hand.
It was out of his hand.
For sure.
There was some debate I had with somebody over the weekend, and they were saying that, and look,
That's the most insane
I 100% think that,
buzzer beater that I've seen on television.
it was incredible. But I was having a debate, and somebody was trying to tell me that they thought Jokic, that it was a pass.
No,
It was a shot.
Yeah, it was a shot.
It was
for
a
sure.
fadeaway double team. Yeah, but incredible. Also, did you see Aaron Gordon wanting all the smoke from James Harden?
Of course.
Who wins in a fight?
Gordon for sure. James is soft now.
Yeah.
Maybe like 10 years ago, James would have
But
done some damage.
Gordon will come get you.
Yeah.
Remember when he won the dunk contest?
Yeah.
He went through under his leg. That might have been one of the greatest dunk contests ever.
He went where?
His legs were like this.
Show me.
He went like this under it.
Under?
Not through his legs, under.
What about behind?
He went behind, but like under his quads, dude.
Can you go behind?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I can't do any of that. I used to dunk on like a 6-foot hoop when I was a kid. I thought I was freaking sick, but
Alrighty.
yeah.
Where to begin? So this last week we had Major League Pickleball, which was the first event of 2025. A lot of hype, a lot of anticipation buildup, and we are going to discuss,
I just got
dissect.
a promo code from DoorDash
Oh, nice.
for 20% off of Lowe's. I feel like I need to go buy something like manly now, like a drill,
Do it.
right?
Yeah.
Shout out MLP presented by DoorDash.
Come fix my sprinkler in my yard.
Dude, I'm good. I can fix sprinklers. I'm not bad at that.
Really?
It's about the only thing I can do.
Okay, so it was in Florida, Orlando, at the USTA tennis campus, which is a beautiful facility. They have a couple alligators hanging out there. It was extremely hot.
Humid?
Humid. And let's start with we have another announcement to make. The Lifetime Pickleball will be making its debut at PPA Atlanta.
Yeah, so Vulcan will be used for MLP still, is our understanding. But any events that are played at Lifetime facilities, which is Atlanta, I believe,
San Clemente.
There's
There's a couple others.
a couple. They will be using the new Lifetime ball.
Let's just say as for now as well, because things change very quickly.
Yeah. Now, I was told that, so I've hit that Lifetime ball maybe once, not for only a couple minutes, so I don't have a ton of experience. But other people who use it regularly, first of all, it's a lot of people like it, but they have said that it is very hard right out of the package. It's a hard ball.
Okay.
So do you need to goggle up with these paddles?
I am so anti-goggles.
But you may need to,
I
Tyler.
may need to, but I think I'll take my chances for now.
Yeah. So Lifetime Ball. Atlanta is the next PPA. It's in 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, 2 weeks or so.
So check that out. Also, Atlanta, and we'll preview it as we get closer, but go get on pickleballbrackets.com and check out some of the partnerships when you have a chance. It's very interesting. Some brand new partnerships we have never seen.
Wow.
Like Jaume and Megan Dazan.
Okay.
Interesting ones. Anyways.
Yeah.
And Leah Jansen and Noe Cliff.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right, moving on.
All right, back to MLP, Major League Pickleball.
MLP.
It was in Florida. It was very hot, humid. This is the first tournament or first MLP that they are using traditional side-out scoring.
Yeah.
Going to 11. They have subs, alternates there. And
Tyler, let's just do this. Let's get all the bad out of the system.
Okay. Court colors were horrendous.
Yes, let's get all the bad out because here's the thing. Samin, who is a friend of the show, went on another podcast.
Didn't he find you? Fine you? Sorry.
He didn't. Yes, but he went on.
So he's a friend of the show, but he fined you?
Yeah, listen, Samin.
That's interesting. Can I fine you and we can still be friends?
No, you and I, we're not friends anyways. So.
Ouch. Oh.
So
I'm cutting your paycheck.
He went on another pod and he said, in Samin's words, he said, it's been nice to have an off season, and that they've been able to finally feel like they're prepared for the season. Okay. He also essentially admitted that.
Wait, whose podcast was this?
Caitlin Kurse.
Okay.
He also basically admitted that the operations side is boring to him. Right? Well, we saw that because operations was a disaster at times. Okay.
It's not his responsibility.
Yeah. So we're just going to get with the good, the bad, the ugly. Okay. So first of all, the audio was horrendous. Okay. As you watched on TV, the crowd noise and then Caitlin Kerr, who was the host, were louder than the commentators. Like you could hear them over the commentators. That was a problem that I don't think they ever got fixed. The first day coverage was in and out. They lost it for like 15 minutes in the middle of a match. There were some issues there. I have this massive pet peeve. Dominic Catalano, you know Dom.
He was commentating?
No, but Dom is also very much on board with this, and he will let you know about it. But the scoreboard, MLP never seems to be able to get the scoreboard right.
Yeah.
The scores were wrong. Sometimes they had like how many games teams had won at the bottom. Sometimes they didn't. So you would tune into a match and not even know who was up or down or what the match meant. Also, they had these little random seeding numbers next to teams on the first match of the first game of the year. That's kind of weird.
Were they accurate?
No, it was like a 2 and a 16.
It's just like random?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't even know what it was. How can you seed teams that haven't played?
By the duper of the players that are on it?
I mean, I guess, but I think Hustlers were number 2, so that's not right.
By looks, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Ignatowicz, is that you? So that was kind of a weird thing. The other thing that is the website's still not updated. It's still not up to date. Like the player standings are still off. You couldn't follow the website along. Like if I'm watching Championship Court and I can't watch Grandstand at the same time because the app doesn't have split screen, even though they advertise it as split screen. So if I'm watching Championship Court, I want to know what's going on Grandstand. The best place to do that is the website, right? But when the website's not accurate and the scoring's not accurate, it's a problem. I will say the website looked much cleaner. Like it looks cleaner. It just needs to function.
Real quick, throw in the court colors.
Yes, court colors.
So I will say, so it was
this.
orange and blue. Optically, if you're looking at pictures, videos, or something like that, it's different. You've never seen that before. It's cool.
Yeah,
but if you're actually playing pickleball on those courts, there's nothing worse.
If I'm flipping through the channels, okay, if I am Joe Schmo on a Saturday and I'm flipping channels and I see those court colors, it's going to get me to stop changing the channel for a second. Now, here's the problem. One, the players hated it.
Yes. There was multiple.
Multiple players. Yeah. Lots of them.
I could not. The first day, I felt like literally a fish out of the water. I could not track the ball. Any speed up that was coming from close to the ground, close to the blue, the bright blue.
Yeah.
I lost it. I couldn't see it at all.
Number 2, you could not track the ball on TV.
Yeah.
Like you did not know where the ball was on TV at all.
Imagine playing hockey and having a white hockey puck, or I don't know, another analogy, like
A white hockey puck.
on the ice. They have
the white
a black
ice?
hockey puck.
Yeah.
Because it stands out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
Exactly.
continue with your rant.
No, yeah, I agree with that. That was a problem. I understand why they did it. I get they're trying to do squeeze colors. We want home court advantage.
You can still do the
They're
squeeze colors,
hosting-
just push it on the further outside of the court boundaries or something like that.
Yeah, or mute it a little bit.
Muted
The other
a
thing
bit.
is once the squeeze, so they don't allow you to wear like fluorescent green shirts, right? Even though Pablo and Jeannie Bouchard somehow get away with it. There's this rule that you can't wear fluorescent green. And then remember that lady on Facebook that complained about Paris Todd wearing shoes that match the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, because the ball can get lost in your shirt.
Yep.
Well, the squeeze were wearing matching court color uniforms, and it was like they were camo the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so again, it's just a massive. It was just a little bit of a swing and miss, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I understand why they did it. And like I said, if you just were like taking an overhead drone shot of the courts,
Look really
looked
cool.
sick.
Yeah.
It just was not functional. Yeah. So, but maybe San Clemente, the Black Bears, will go like a pink and a,
Imagine if the SoCal Hard Ace go hot pink.
Yeah.
Or Miami, I mean.
yeah, hot pink courts. Yeah.
Mad Drops go neon green. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, there was a time when PPA at the beginning, they had white banners around the court and players started to complain because they lost the ball in those white banners. And
Yeah.
then they changed it to black or blue or whatever it is. Like, the eyesight is so important for players. When you're paying attention to a 3 to 4 inch ball traveling 30 to 60 miles an hour that's going 7 feet in front of you, you have to be able to see the ball as clearly as possible.
Yeah.
And taking those distractions or putting those distractions in, it's dangerous.
For sure. And, you know, I guess I get what they're doing, but like, did anybody like try it out? Did they try to play on it?
And that was the other thing is, I mean, we can get into this more, but our first match, the first time we stepped on the court, and I guess this is maybe our team's fault a little bit, but the first time we stepped on the court was warm up to play our match.
Yeah.
We didn't get any warm up on that court. And then the team that we played, they had already played a full match on that court.
So your team was unprepared.
Exactly.
Who's the coach of that team?
It's anybody at the PPA.
Yeah, I feel like somebody needs to step up at the
No.
PPA and actually coach you guys.
No, we're good. We're good. Okay.
Tyler,
Anything else?
You guys went 0-3.
We did. We should have won one. The other two one of them was tough. We should have won one.
Columbus.
Yes, they were tough.
They're a good team.
Yeah.
No, that was really it. Now let's get into also the replay. We got to fix the replay. The replay system, I think we got spoiled with close call replay, and I know that MLP and PPA, UPA are trying to copy that the best they can, and they haven't quite got there yet. But replay is still pretty tough. Like,
Yeah.
I think that these courts, you know, on Grandstand and Championship Court, like they deserve a solid replay system. And I don't think we have that yet.
Okay. So you talked about things that could maybe be improved upon. Now, what are some of the highlights? Some of the
so there's
successes?
I think that there's a lot of highlights. So number one, the atmosphere was awesome, right? The fan engagement was awesome. The crowds were great. It did feel like MLP did a good job with like the pageantry and making it like a big deal.
Quick question. Was this MLP or was this Orlando? Because Orlando was hosting the event. And so I think it was Orlando that put in a lot of
So they do it in conjunction with each other though, right? Like Orlando, the way I understand it, you know, there's meetings every week because the Black Bears actually.
So who do we have to talk to about the court colors? Is that Amin?
That was probably probably Amin.
Amin, come on, man.
That was probably an Orlando decision, but I assume that had to be approved by MLP. You know, so Orlando did a good job. I mean, they did a exhibition pro-am. They had Richard Lewis come in. Did you go to that? Did you watch it?
I did not go to that.
Brandon Bass, Etwan Moore.
I don't know any of those except for Richard Lewis.
You do? You remember Richard Lewis?
I think so. Wait, was he the face mask guy? No, that's Richard Hamilton.
Richard Hamilton. He actually owns part of Brooklyn Pickleball Club, DC.
I don't.
Richard Lewis was one of the last guys, fun fact, to go straight from high school to the NBA before
they cut it.
Yeah. Big guy. He's like skinny. He was probably 6'9", 6'10", shoots a three.
Similar to me.
Brandon Bass, LSU guy. Each one more? Purdue?
Don't know.
All right. Anyways, they had those guys come. And then Terrence Ross. And they were terrible at pickleball. They were atrocious, honestly. You wouldn't even believe that those dudes are professional athletes when you watch them play pickleball. But it's fun. Like, it's fun to get out on the court. It's fun to watch these guys. It's fun to obviously interact with fans. So I think
people have been always trying to bring out these celebrities and everything like that. But a lot of people have said they should bring out these tennis players, these lower level tennis players in the 50 to 100 range, because they would actually be somewhat competitive and it'd be more engaging for the fans, I think.
Yeah. The problem is you're not there to watch people you don't know, randos. You're there to watch celebrities.
Yeah, but when the celebrities are just truly awful and can't keep more than 1 or 2 points, it's not fun.
Yeah, that's true. But
I think a lot of people would rather see these tennis players that they think pickleball is easy, but they can't actually dink.
Yeah, I think there's a place for that, but they do and they don't. So for example,
Jack Sock versus Sam Querrey, John Isner, and Annalee
we saw Isner and Sock,
Donald Young, and that was so much fun. People love that.
Yeah, but those aren't 50 to 100 tennis players.
Okay, any tennis player for that matter. Then.
Yeah, so if you're getting top 10 tennis players or top 20 that people know, sure. Yeah. But guys in the 50 to the 100 range that nobody knows.
Okay.
I don't think that's that exciting. There's a golf tournament every year, the Tahoe Celebrity Classic, okay? And it's essentially celebrities, pro sports superstars, actors, and they all go play, and they play like a tournament. And the most watched guy at that tournament is Charles Barkley. And it's because he's the worst player there, right? He's atrocious. And you want to watch,
hold my beer. That might be me.
Yeah, you want to watch his awful swing but then there's dudes like Steph Curry and Tony Romo who are great golfers, and it's actually fun to watch these guys excel in another sport. So I think that there's a spot for both, but I'm not sure if there's a athlete from another sport, not tennis, who's come over to pickleball like a good athlete and is really excelled, right? Like even Drew Brees is what, a 4.0-ish, 4.5-ish on a good day.
Yeah. I mean, he would be fun, but I'm talking these guys, these celebrities, they can't even dink.
No, that's what I'm saying. They can't. They're bad. That's what I'm saying. So who are those guys? Yeah. Right? Like, is JD Martinez, who just signed with Yola, he was a, Major League Baseball player for the Red Sox. Is he good enough? Is he trying to go pro? I don't know.
Okay. All right, back to it. So some more of the successes, what were they?
Yeah, so I thought that was good. The big thing, and I've given them tons of props for this over and over again, but changing those matchups to Sunday, right, and rearranging the schedule, being flexible with that was huge because Sunday was fireworks. It was absolutely electric.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a huge home run for MLP.
Okay.
So let's get into just a couple. One thing that I want to talk about a little bit, Tyler, because I kind of struggle with it, is you look at some of these teams, okay? Let's just talk with the Ranchers, okay? The Ranchers have a director of operations. They have a coach, an assistant coach. They have a GM. They have their whole squad there, including their subs, right? I mean,
They flew out a week, well, not a week earlier, but on Sunday.
They met in Boca.
Yeah.
And all trained together in Boca, right? They're running this a very professional sports organization. And you see their sideline, and it looks like they have statisticians. And I know Brooklyn Aces, or now the DC, they did that too. They would get stats and they would get scouting reports before each match. And I know some teams do that, right? And then you go and look at Carolina. Okay. Carolina is owned by Tom Dundon. Tom Dundon is one of the owners of the league.
You got a bone to pick.
If anybody should be invested in this, it should be Tom Dundon.
Well, he's invested in everything else.
That's
pickleball.
The problem. I've said this before. I don't think Tom Dundon loves pickleball. I just don't.
I still disagree.
So Dundon's team comes out and they don't have a coach. They don't have a GM. They don't even have a damn player on their bench other than the 4 players that are playing. Literally not a single person. They don't even wear the right jerseys the first day. So they should be getting fined for that.
Different colors or just different styles?
They just went white. They just went white, and they're supposed to be dark because home team is white, away team is dark.
But they're just like different brands of...
No, they just wore the wrong color.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so they don't even show up like that. I mean, SoCal Hard Eights had 3 different color jerseys going at one time for their team. But Carolina comes out, and I mean, there was no energy. There's nobody on the bench. It was just... It's just a bad look, especially a team that's owned by Dundon. And so there's such a massive difference in MLP this year, and that's going to play a big role. I think that they're
I feel like there has always been that to some degree, though. And if you look at NBA, I mean, you look at the Jazz. A lot of people think they were tanking. They were purposely tanking this year. They had the worst record they've ever had.
Yeah, they did tank.
Yeah, and so. I mean, that could be somewhat comparable.
But here's the thing. They're tanking for Cooper Flag, right?
Yeah.
And they're tanking, but they also still have Laurie Markkinen, and they still have Jordan Clarkson, and they still have coaches on the bench, and they still have...
All right, question for you. What looks worse? You trying your absolute hardest or just trying your hardest and still losing when you're considered a top 10 player, top 5, or the best, whatever it might be, or acting like you don't really care and losing?
Dude, they're acting like you don't care. Like, if you're trying your hardest and you lose, you lose. Like, that's part of being an athlete. You're a professional athlete. If you want to be taken serious...
I would agree, but I think there's a lot of people, not just 1 or 2, a lot of people who have that mentality where they say, oh, if I act like I'm not trying and I lose, then or if I have this injury and I lose, it doesn't look as bad.
Then those guys, honestly, those guys are losers. Like, they're clowns and they're losers because they're
on the 5s.
What?
They're on the 5s?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ryan Harwood's a good fit for that. I'm just saying you're a freaking loser. Like, if you have a mentality that I'm not going to try my hardest because then I have an excuse on why I lose, you don't deserve to be a professional athlete.
I agree.
Being a professional athlete is a privilege.
I agree. But I'm just saying there are a lot more players, not only in pickleball and everything, that do that.
Yeah, and it's stupid. And honestly, Ben Johns, I will say this, Ben Johns tried.
He tries. He normally tries.
He went hard. Went hard. Colin, it's debatable. Either Colin just sucks really, really bad at pickleball right now, which could be the case, or Colin didn't try it. I don't know. Either way, for Colin, it's going to be the same result.
You're getting me in trouble.
Either way, it's the same result. He's just not good. And he got to play with Ben, and, I don't know. I felt like, we had a lot of Catherine versus Annalie and all these, we got to prove ourselves. A lot of proving grounds this weekend. And Colin had a chance to be like, hey, Ben, you made a mistake. And instead, he shit the bed like he did the last year and a half with Ben. So
the only thing I will say is right now in MLP, they are games to 11 traditional scoring. And before it was rally scoring to 25, right?
25, yeah.
25, yeah, with a freeze.
Yeah. You just had to win on your serve, yeah.
In my personal opinion, I actually don't mind the side out scoring. I thought it did better.
Well, you've been the guy that has been against rally scoring from the beginning.
For PPA tournaments.
Yes,
I would never want to see pickleball go 100% to rally, but I think looking back at it, I do see a scenario, a reasoning for rally.
This is interesting from you.
For rally to be played in MLP.
Because every time we used to talk MLP, you would say, well, in rally, anything can happen. Or rally.
Okay, for example, if you did rally to 11, how would that be? That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But if you did rally to 50, then it would be a very similar effect to traditional scoring. But going back to what I was saying, I think they need to do traditional scoring to 15. I think 11 is too quick.
So the scoring is interesting. There's a lot of debate about this. I talked to somebody who actually, oddly enough, had a very good take on it. And he's not the smartest guy, so I'm going to give him some credit. So he said, rally scoring is to appease the 25,000 current fans of pickleball. Right?
Okay.
There's 25,000 fans of pickleball right now that are diehard fans, and they want the rally and they want that. But there are 20 million players. And the way that you attract those 20 million players is through traditional scoring.
Okay.
And those 25,000 fans that you have right now, those ones are going to watch no matter what.
Okay.
Right? And so if you want to attract the 20 million players, that's why you do the traditional scoring. I actually don't disagree with that. However, it's got to be more 11's too quick. We had freaking shutouts. How many pickles did we have?
More than I thought.
Multiple. I mean, if you play for the Hustlers, there's a high percentage that you're getting shut out.
Corey is great. He's so funny.
Dude, Ling Wei lost 44-7 total in her 4 matches. The women will the Hustlers women score a point this year? They have not scored a point.
I'm sure they will. Games to 11.
I mean, Leia and Paris got pickled.
Lacey and her partner
Samantha
got pickled.
Parker? Yeah. Like there was
It happens.
It was, but so what looks worse, Tyler? 11-0 or say 21-10?
I would say 11-0 looks worse.
I think so too. And so that's the one thing where aesthetically rally scoring probably
But
helps.
I don't think it's bad to have an 11-0 score. Everyone's going to have those.
I don't think I agree.
And to be honest, I think it actually shows the great's of the teams that are able to achieve
I agree.
that.
Like every league is going to have a top, a middle, and a bottom. Like that's how sports work.
Exactly.
The problem is with this league is the top is so much better than the bottom. I mean, I'm talking like the bottom.
I would say there's only 2 or 3 teams that fit in that very, very bottom category.
The Hustlers and the Hard Eights will not win a match this year unless it's against each other.
Crazier things have happened.
No, they won't. I promise you they won't.
Unless
if you guys lose to them, then that's embarrassing. You should retire.
Ouch,
they won't.
That's a lot of pressure.
They won't win a match unless it's against each other. Like I'm telling you right now, the bottom tier. Like I think there's 6 teams, and we'll get into the matches, but I think there's 6 teams that are legit, have a chance, and I think there's 2 other teams that could surprise people. The 5s, obviously, Dallas,
Okay.
of course, defending champs. I think Columbus is very good.
Okay.
I think that the Ranchers are good. I think Brooklyn is a solid team. Now
I thought they were going to do a little bit better than they did.
Sure, but they also played a very tough schedule. They played the Shock, they played the 5s, and they played the Ranchers. That's a pretty tough schedule. I think 7 and 8 are probably mad drops and squeeze. And then there's teams that are fighting for that 9 and 10 spot, and it's probably Phoenix.
Okay.
It's probably you guys.
Okay.
It's a motivated Ben John's Carolina team, possibly. Zhao Mei and Todd Fote blasted Zane and Will Howes 11-2. So if that Bouncers team can get going. So I think it's one of those teams will be like 9 and 10.
Okay.
And then the Hustlers, I don't think the Slice are very good. I don't think that the Hard Eights are very good. Those guys are going to be at the bottom.
Okay.
So I actually do think Phoenix has very good vibes. And I thought Jesse was phenomenal this week. They went 0-2, but Jesse was great.
They only had 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what's funny is they only played 2. SoCal only played 2.
We only had 3.
You guys only had 3, but then the 5s played 6.
Yeah, the schedule. I don't know how the schedule works, but there are some teams that played a lot.
Columbus played 6, and now they're turning around and they're hosting, so I assume they're going to play a bunch again?
Yes.
Like, is their season going to be half over before?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just
Real quick, we got to take a brief moment to give a big shout out to our next sponsor, which is C&D Pickleball Nets. We talk about them every single week, and they make the best pickleball nets available out there in the market. If you're interested in getting a net for your church, your gym, your patio space, your garage, your driveway, whatever it might be, go check them out and elevate your pickleball playing experience with the best pickleball nets out there, C&D Pickleball Nets. They also just introduced a new, more economic net, which is the Challenger net. It retails at $15.99, and using our code KOTC, it will save you quite a bit of money.
Did you see the controversy at MLP about couldn't tell if a ball hit a pole or not? And
I did not see that. No.
Yeah, so there's just a little bit of controversy. I mean, again, you don't use high quality nets, and you have these things that happen.
Yeah. C&D, seriously, best. They have a really great warranty as well. But like I said, you would be surprised at how much the net that you use dictates the overall experience that you have while playing pickleball. I promise you.
Yes, I agree.
Done.
All right. Orlando. Let's get into a couple matchups.
Okay, Jimmy, walk us through.
Yeah, so the first day, I think that the premier matchup, and we kind of talked about this, was the Ranchers versus Brooklyn. How would Eric Onsens do? It kind of, I don't want to say on the big stage, but on the big stage. And they came out, and their women's team, I think Jackie and Rachel need some time to kind of, get together. Like, they've never played together. But their women's and their men's team came out just red hot. They lost the mix, but Texas ends up winning at 3-1 and kind of sets the tone for the whole week. I thought that was a good win for them.
They had 4 matches, right? And they went 3-1, Texas?
Yeah, yep. I kind of felt like that was a pretty good win for them. The other big one was you and I were pretty high on Columbus. And we felt like, Columbus, we felt like CJ and Andre were going to be a very tough team to beat. I thought that CJ and Andre were going to be kind of that.
Here's the thing. In men's doubles, almost every single match is going to be tough. There might be 1 or 2 teams that you should have a little bit easier time with, but for the most part, every single team is going to be tough. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, look, CJ and Andre end up losing to Will and Zane. I actually got a text from Will after that said something about,
I talked to him.
Nice prediction or something, which is funny. I mean, like I said, Will's.
I talked to him, and he had a little bit of a bone to pick with me, but he said he wants to come on the pod and kind of give us his background and kind of talk to us.
Yeah, he should. I mean, Jim Kloss even made a tweet that was like, "Oh, Jimmy Miller, what'd you say about Will?" Well, sometimes people speak up a little bit too soon because that was day one match.
Okay.
And then we saw them lose like 16 to 17 points after that, their men's team. So, things can happen. But that was kind of the big match. I mean, New Jersey kind of put everybody on notice. Like, we made it to, the finals last year, and we're still there. We're still a really good team. We got better with Megan. I mean, Megan was playing phenomenal that first day. So we get into the second day, and I would say that the biggest matchups of the second day, again, Brooklyn plays the Fives. This is not that there's like a rivalry there, but Rachel had played against AL quite a bit, right? With the girlies. And so women's doubles again, Annalie wins, of course, her match. But then Riley and Deckel, like for these 2 games, Deckel was ridiculous. And they end up winning men's 11-3. And then they win mixed. Deckel and Rachel beat Zane and Megan 11-4.
Okay.
Just blast them. But it goes to Dream Breaker. And, I mean, Zane, Will, AL, and Megan.
Tough.
That's
really tough.
Really tough Dream Breaker team. So the Fives end up pulling out the Dream Breaker. Next match might have been what we're talking about these tiers. Dallas wins 11-0, 11-6, 11-0, 11-4. The Hustlers had 10 total points.
Was that on CC also?
Yeah. 10 total points in their match. Actually, I think that one might have been on Grandstand.
Maybe.
But nobody saw it anyways. I mean, it literally lasted like 30 seconds. And then Phoenix, this was the one I was talking about where Jesse I thought was awesome. So the Phoenix women beat Orlando women. They beat Lacey Schneeman and Samantha Parker 11-0.
Yeah.
Jeannie Bouchard. And Jessie Irvin. Jeannie Bouchard, who the night before.
Hot off the plane from California.
Having her hot girl summer in San Francisco.
Let's go.
Jeannie was touring San Francisco at 9 p.m. the night before. And she shows up and
ready to play.
Beats Lacey and
Yeah.
Which is pretty incredible. I'll be honest, like I always have to give credit, but I feel like the vibes between Tyson and Jack are pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever had issues. I don't know.
Well, they played their very first event together. Remember that? And they lost first round to
Roddy
and Schick. Was it Roddy and Schick or Roddy
it was,
and Dobrin? Dobrin and Roddy.
Yeah.
But like they seem to have good vibes. Like but that one went to Dream Breaker, and I'll be honest, on paper, I thought Phoenix would have been the better Dream Breaker team. I mean, I think they're both good, but Tyson, Jack, Jeannie, and Jesse, but Samantha Parker's also good. But Lacey, Samantha, Fed, and Dylan end up pulling it out 21-17. So, I mean, we're 2 days into this, and there hasn't been really anything super close. Kind of only one Dream Breaker. most of the matches have gone. There hasn't been a single upset to that point. Most of them have gone as expected. And then I think Saturday is where it really, we finally had some good matches. Columbus and the Ranchers was 13-11, 11-8, 12-10, 11-9.
And that was the first one that I'm aware of that somebody came back. So I think Columbus was up 10-3 in the women's doubles. And the other team came back all the way to have even a game point, and then they ended up losing.
Yeah.
But, in rally scoring, that most likely would not have been possible.
Yeah, for sure. That was that was kind of a good run there to see them come back. I think that, like I said, Ranchers are going to be a problem all year, but so is Columbus. Then we see Carolina for the first time. Their women's team really struggled the whole week.
Okay.
But Ben and Colin did beat J-Dub and Augie pretty handily. I think it was 7 or 6.
Yeah, I thought it was 7.
But then they end up losing their next 2 mixed matches. So, it's tough because we always say that Carolina's only chances are Ben's got to win both his matches, and then you got to win a dream breaker.
Because I think that's going to you'll see. You can mark me down for this, but I think it's going to be even that much harder this year. There are so many close teams, men's teams especially, in 1 game to 11.
Yeah.
A lot can happen.
Yeah, I agree. Then we had a few lopsided matches. Honestly, New Jersey kind of rolls Phoenix, Brooklyn rolls Miami, New Jersey rolls Atlanta. You guys lost 3-1 to Orlando. You did win your men's match over Dylan and Fed.
Me and Connor did. That's a good win for us. We're happy about that.
It's a very good win. And then we get a little controversy, Tyler. This is what we need to talk about. They expanded rosters to 6.
Yes.
Okay? The whole point of expanded rosters was we want to showcase the best players, right? And then they did this rule where you could steal players that caused a lot of controversy, and you can't even keep their expanded rosters, and you got to do your 4 starters. And then we find out that some teams aren't even traveling their 5th and 6th players. So Hunter Johnson gets in a fight with a kitchen knife and loses, cuts his finger, and he has to pull out. Well, LA doesn't even have their 6th guy there.
Their 6th guy would have been, or is, West Burroughs.
So they don't even travel their subs, and they're allowed to take AJ Kohler, who's an on-site substitute.
And AJ wasn't drafted in Challenger.
Who was not drafted in Challenger or Premier.
Yeah.
And insert him into their lineup. First of all, what are your thoughts on that?
What a mess. What an absolute mess.
I think it's a joke. I think it's embarrassing.
Yes.
I think it
shouldn't be allowed.
And shouldn't be allowed.
It should not be allowed.
And this has nothing to do with AJ.
Yeah.
And in fact, AJ was phenomenal. AJ definitely helped them. I'm not sure Hunter plays as well as AJ played. Maybe in the Dream Breaker, because they lost to the 5s in the Dream Breaker. Hunter obviously would help in that, but AJ was
the
great.
league either has to force teams to travel with all players or get rid of the subs completely.
Yes, exactly. And now that's the issue is you're not even how would you feel if you're West Burroughs? You got drafted.
West Burroughs might not.
Well, okay, but I'm just saying you get drafted to a team.
Yeah.
And and I know it's a little bit awkward, like you've mentioned.
Oh, it's awkward because there were some teams that had subs there.
Yeah.
And then there was other teams that didn't. And then those teams that had subs there, they knew they weren't playing. And so it's just they're following the team around and they're not entirely included in the warm-ups because
they're not going to play. Yeah.
It's weird.
But in every sport, there's bench players, right? And
but those guys have an opportunity to go in at any point in the game or something like that. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And maybe there were some teams out there I don't know, Orlando, for instance. Did Orlando ever think about subbing in Allie Phillips for Samantha Parker? I don't know. Did you guys ever think about subbing Mavish in for...
So actually, the last match, Connor, he mentioned it, Connor Pardo, but it was during the match, and I don't know what the rules are if you can just do a quick sub because you have to submit the lineup the night before, which I don't know if I like because what if they get injured the morning of or they're not feeling well or you see something? I think
if it's an injury, a legit injury, you can sub, but that person can't come back.
Yeah.
Which is also interesting too because what if you get food poisoning on a Thursday and you sub and they're feeling better by Saturday?
Exactly.
So,
do you know why the rule was implemented in the first place? What started that?
Do we have a fake injury?
So from what I remember, and I could be wrong because I wasn't playing MLP during this time, but Paris, I think it was Paris Todd that either got sick or she didn't want to play a Dream Breaker, or somebody didn't want to play it, and so they had her come in just for the Dream Breaker.
Oh.
And
well, they tried to do that with Yana against you guys last year.
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And
so that's why
when Megan got knocked out by J-Dub's overhead, and they get the best singles on-site sub they can find.
Exactly.
And then Megan finished the match, and then they still tried to use Yana for the Dream Breaker.
I may have butchered that story, but something to that effect.
They should, maybe Paris's parents should pray a little harder for, for the investors.
How often do you pray?
I search, ponder, and pray all the time, Tyler. Anyways, so I think it's ridiculous. Do
you think they'll make changes?
I don't know. I think
I think they have to.
It's a huge swing and miss by MLP. Like that one is.
They have to.
It's a bad look. And honestly, LA, Zubin has money, right?
All these owners have money. I
agree,
whether or not they want to spend it.
But my point is why Zubin also Zubin was on the board. Zubin is one of the original OG MLP guys, right? Why aren't you traveling your whole team? Mm-hmm. Now, if Wes wasn't available, then maybe that's different.
Well. Yeah.
But my point is why aren't you traveling your whole team? What is the difference in costs to travel, or teams that traveled 5?
Probably a couple thousand.
Yeah. So we're talking about a couple $1,000. Travel your whole, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me to not, if it's a team and we're going to go 6, then let's treat it like a team and let's go 6.
All right. Should we get into the entertaining matches?
Yeah. Let's get to Sunday, Tyler. Yeah. Sunday. Yeah. So here we go. We have the showdown. Anna Bright versus Rachel Rohrbacher. Brooklyn takes on St. Louis. I want to talk about this a little bit because I'm watching that.
Real quick. Didn't Catherine beat Annalie in women's doubles?
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's on Sunday too.
Okay. But that wasn't that entertaining, right?
No. But we'll talk about Annalie's comments after that.
Okay.
So AB plays women's. So the way MLP's doing it this year, by the way, is you don't get to choose men or women's first.
It's just women's, men's.
Yeah, which I don't love that either, because sometimes you want to send out your men first to set the tone. Sometimes you want to send out your women. But again, that's a small complaint, not a big deal. All right, women go out first. Rachel versus AB. They were best friends. They started a brand together. They both released statements saying how grateful they were, friends for life, blah, blah, blah.
So we don't act like that we're friends, and so we'll probably be friends for life, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't even act like it.
We need a brand.
Exactly.
So they're playing, and the match is fairly close at the beginning. I think it's actually 4-4, maybe 4-3 for Brooklyn. Jackie's actually playing outstanding. Her lob, she's hitting lob winners. Rachel felt a little bit tight, but AB is doing AB things. And what I mean by that is she is barking. She is screaming after points. Kate starts screaming after points. They're very loud and boisterous. She's got that scowl that she plays with. Mm-hmm. And it felt to me for some reason, AB was acting like she was the one who got dropped by Rachel and was out to prove something. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. It was she felt slighted. And I don't know if there was some beef between them afterwards, if maybe Rachel said her piece and caused some rift between them.
Was Rachel's fiance there?
Yeah. So you want to talk about him, Bobby?
Let's talk about him.
So his name's Bobby. First of all, anyone named Bobby is just a grade A frat boy douchebag. But so Bobby in the very first match against the Ranchers, when they played the Ranchers, he was finding out. He's that guy that was finding out personal info about people.
Okay.
And then he was attacking them kind of personally. Mm-hmm. He went after Ryan DeWidgeon. He went after their assistant coach Caleb. Mm-hmm. And then when they played the Fives, he started going after Harwood, which I think Harwood's. So look, Ryan Harwood walks out to his own walkout song. Okay.
What is it?
I don't know.
Walk it out?
I have no idea. But he has his own walkout song. He comes out with the players. He gets introduced with the players. So does Lee.
Okay.
They're the only GMs and coaches that get introduced with the players.
Okay.
Right? Like for me as a general manager, I am very, very aware of my role on the team.
Apparently you're not, because you got to be introduced in the walkout.
I am not a player. I am not a pro. I should not ever overshadow these pros. But he comes out to his own walkout song.
Okay.
Well, Bobby starts going at him, right? And he starts attacking him a little bit. And I don't want to say attacking. I want to say that they're being rowdy fans and they're taunting.
Like, was he counting to 7 instead of 5 or something?
Yeah, like I think that they like are digging up information about him. And so I was at a high school football game last year, and the quarterback for for Lehigh, where I live, his girlfriend, the other team was chanting his girlfriend's name, and they're saying she was ugly. Like her name was like Briley, and they're like, Briley's ugly.
Is she ugly?
She's pretty mid, but anyways, the point is, like, they found out who she was, and they found her on social media, and they were going, and that was kind of the stuff that, like, whether that's right or wrong, kind of the stuff that Bobby was doing. So he starts going after Harwood. I guess Harwood complained, and I guess there was a message sent out that he should be off limits.
Like Ryan Harwood himself should be off limits?
Himself should be off limits.
What about you? Are other GMs or?
Well, I don't know, but my point is why should teams? Number one, teams aren't in control of their own fans. Number two, Harwood, that makes you look so freaking soft. Number three, I watched that St. Louis match, and Ryan Harwood is chirping at Kate Fahey and chirping, saying, "Hit the ball to Kate," saying that Kate can't ding, Kate's a single specialist, all these things. So you can say all that stuff to players, but then when the fans come at you, you're off limits.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you like literally you're living up to the reputation of a clown. Like, you need to decide, are you going to come out to walkout music, and are you going to be front and center and try to become the face of the franchise and be more famous than the players? Then you are okay to get that scrutiny. But if you're going to just be in the background and be a GM, fine. Right? But he's chosen a different path, and that makes him, in my opinion, free game. And I don't like this Bobby dude by any means. Like, I think he's an absolute freaking a-hole. And at BCO, he was just as annoying, right? But again, at the end of the day, he's just a fan, and he loves Rachel. And
yes, I mean, I agree with you there. But the funny thing is, I don't think Rachel would take it too kindly if people started doing what he's doing to her. I think she would melt down.
Tyler, she didn't. In DC last year, remember the dude that sat front row every day?
I don't remember that. I remember
this guy sat front row in DC every single day. He was the first guy there. Literally, I think he was helping him set up chairs. And he wasn't even
saying anything like that was bad, right?
He was cheering against her, like if she was playing someone else, he was cheering for the other player, but never saying anything directly to her. And her family were like wanted to fight him. And they were getting pissed at him.
And that's what I'm getting at, is like you said, you can do it to people, but you can't do it back to them.
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways.
Or they can't do it back to you.
Yeah. So in this match against St. Louis, like I said, it just felt like she was, I don't know. It felt like AB was the one that seemed slighted by all this, and just the way that she was acting was very, I mean, she always plays like that to a certain extent, but usually when she plays against like her friends, she's more subdued. But this was vintage stone cold killer Anna. And I mean, the stare downs and the grunts, and so they beat him pretty handily, 11-4. AB and Kate. And then the men, Gabe and Hayden win that. And so you're like, man, Brooklyn's rolling. And then here comes mixed. And freaking mixed, first of all, Jackie and... So the first match was Deckel. Deckel, they switched up their mixed teams, St. Louis did. So Hayden actually played with Kate, and Gabe played with AB.
Okay.
So last year, Gabe and Kate were 5-18 as a mixed team. A little bit of a caveat there. We do know they played a lot of those matches up 3-0.
Yes, yeah.
So they switched it up this year. And Gabe ends up playing with AB, and Kate plays with Hayden. Well, Hayden and Kate lose to Jackie and Riley. And then Declan and Rachel beat AB and Gabe. So now we go to a Dream Breaker. So we get to the Dream Breaker, and St. Louis's team, I mean, Gabe, Hayden, Kate, AB is your 4. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's good.
So Riley and Deckel get blasted. Rachel goes 2-2. So it's 9-2 right now or something like that. Maybe it's 10-2. And Jackie goes 4-0 on Anna Bright. Not only does she go 4-0, she goes 4-0 with some ridiculous shots. AB's face, I mean, she's pissed. She looks so fired up. She's pissed off. They're back in it. It's like 9-6 or whatever at this point. And then, of course, the men shit the bed again. I think Riley ended up going 1-7. Gabe went 8-4 on Deckel. Well, then Jackie still goes 2-2 the next time on AB.
Yeah.
Rachel ended up going 4-4 on Kate, but St. Louis pulls it out. They tapped paddles. There wasn't anything that was like crazy, but I did just feel like you could feel the tension in that match. Like there was tension there. So I don't know if it was just the competitiveness during the match, but I get the sense in my own speculation that maybe the girlies didn't maintain that friendship through the breakup. So they should really refund the sweaters now. Don't you think? You want your money back?
Exactly.
For yours? All right. So then we get the other breakup, which is Annalie Waters against Catherine Parento.
Okay.
And Catherine and Jade lost.
Real quick, I met somebody there.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me, fan of the show. And all he wanted me to do was say, okay, and moving on, and alrighty, and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, he knows.
So that's all you say. He's like, I want to hear you say it.
That's funny.
So I sat there for about a minute just saying that.
That's actually really funny. So Catherine and Jade, they lost their first match in women's to Lacey Schneeman and Samantha Parker.
Yep.
11-4. So now they take on Annalie and Megan, and they beat them. Catherine was amazing.
Yeah, apparently Annalie has as many losses as she did last year in the entire season from one event.
Yeah. Jade was amazing. So after and then men's doubles, freaking AJ and Kwong were up like 9-6 or something, and they end up blowing it, and they lose in men's. Mixed ended up being split. So we go to Dream Breaker, and again, like Jade, I think went 5-3 on Megan Dazan. But the Dream Breaker, listen, dude, I struggle with these Dream Breaker strategies. So the way it works is the home team gets to react to the lineup the night before, and they get to react to the Dream Breaker lineup. Well, LA was home, the Mad Drops, and they put Catherine second in the Dream Breaker. So they put AJ against AL, who was third. And I mean, it kind of backfired on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's hit and miss.
It is. And look, I think if they had Hunter, they would have changed things up a little bit, but they didn't. They had AJ, so they lose 21-19. But the post-match interview is where it gets spicy. So post-match interview, AL says, she says, yeah, obviously Catherine came out with something to prove. I think I was a little bit too nice. Like, why not just say she played great, glad our team came out with the win.
In the current playing, like in the matchup, or like how she delivered her
I think she was
speech?
saying like too nice in the women's doubles match.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like she took it too easy on her, and
I thought you meant the breakup text. She was too nice in the breakup text.
No, but what a weird comment. I think I was a little bit too nice. I don't know why that really like bugged me. Like it was just a bratty comment. But it was kind of par for the course for her on Sunday.
Okay.
Because now we get to
setting the stage
for the ultimate match, St. Louis versus the Fives.
Both fan favorites. Everyone loves these teams.
The push her around the world that wasn't actually a push. So I'll get right to it. I actually talked to some of the players involved
today. The victims, the aggressors.
Some of the players today. And let me just tell you, set the stage and tell you what happened. All right. This is what happened during the match. So
let me pose a question that I always say. What is MLP? What do we want MLP to be?
I mean, I think that we like this.
Yeah, you can continue.
I don't think we have any issue with this. It's just, we'll break it down. Okay. So let's have our editors post the video here so we can, because I'm going to break down this video right here. I'm going to break down this video. So first of all, women's doubles, St. Louis wins.
Okay.
So AL loses again. Men's doubles, St. Louis wins. So now they're up 2-0. So we go to mixed, and it's AL and Will against Hayden and Kate.
Okay.
And Will bags Hayden 3-4 times, including one time right in the
noggin.
No, right in the
downstairs
private parts.
Okay.
Yeah. And every time he bags them, AL's kind of laughing. Right? She's smiling. She's laughing.
She's just a happy person.
She thinks it's funny.
She's just a happy person.
So the match ends, and Hayden's pissed that he lost. And he taps paddles, and he does say good game. And AL's smiling and laughing. And I guess Hayden says something like, what are you laughing at? And she said, you deserve it for all your trash talk, or something along those lines. And Hayden turns and starts to walk away, and he says, you effing B. Now, let me just preface this, okay? You can't call a girl a B. You can't. It's not okay. It's never okay. It's like, I don't think that it's justifiable in any way, shape, or form, okay?
Okay.
Do I think that Hayden was using the B word? I don't want to say it because like little Jack Pickleball watches this, so I'm sure his mom said worse around him. But now, do I think Hayden was using the B word because she's a female and he was using it in this misogynistic form? And no, I think he was using it because he's a 19-year-old kid, teenager, and you know, you call people bitches, right? Like that's just.
You're not going to say it there, but just now.
Sorry, Jack. Beep. Anyways, my point is I don't think that he was like using it in that term. However, you still can't say it. Like it's not okay. I'm not justifying that. Hayden knows that. He feels bad about that. He actually apologized for that on the post-match interview.
Kind of.
In his own special way. Jennifer, who we know and love, called Hayden and chastised him for his mom.
Oh, yeah.
Called and said, you don't talk like that. I raised you better than that. So good for her. Okay. But as soon as that happens, AL says, did you just call me a bitch? Sorry. Beep.
Yeah.
And she sprints to his sideline.
Sprinting is a little bit dramatic.
She walks hurriedly like Rachel Rohrabacher having to use the bathroom during a timeout. Okay. So she hustles over to the sideline, and there's a guy there. His name's Andrew Haynes. I believe he's a GM or some operations. And then Ross Chaffetz, who's one of the owners, is there. And she starts coming at Hayden. And if you watch Hayden, he almost puts his hands up like she's going to attack him or hit him, or because she was hostile.
Okay.
And Andrew just kind of stands there, and Ross kind of sticks his hand out, and she's trying to push past them. Like she is 100% the aggressor, and she is on his side.
Well, some might say that Hayden was the aggressor by saying what he said.
Well, one's verbal, one's physical. So she's also on his sideline. Okay, so they end up like, you know, kind of like getting her to calm down. She turns around, and all of a sudden she's saying, he pushed me, talking about Andrew pushing her. He didn't push her. We have video evidence. Did you think he pushed her?
From what I saw, it does not look like it.
And then Lee starts reenacting the push, like AL got knocked backwards, and she's like diving backwards. And then the best line, maybe, I think we should make a shirt. Andrew says, show me, prove it. And Lee says, I'll send you the video. I'll send it to your inbox. Yeah. Like what the? Like what? I'll send it to your inbox.
Well, where else would she send it?
I know. I
gotta go to the inbox.
And then Harwood turns around. Ryan, I'm off limits, Harwood, and he says, "Do not touch her. You do not touch her." White knighting like nobody's business for AL.
Oh my gosh!
And it becomes this big drama-filled thing. Courtney Johnson's down there. Right, Stephen Waters runs down the aisle.
Pickleball.com's got the 8K version exclusive.
Yeah, honestly, I think that Stephen Waters it was probably the first time in a long time where he really felt like he screwed up firing Scott. Because Scott actually could have done something.
Barbecue Scott
could have been there in a flash, jumped the railing, got involved, and instead Scott's at home. because he fired him.
Yeah.
Because he rubbed my shoulders and not Scott's. So it was this big deal. They're like, so let me just give my take. Oh, and then Richard Chaffetz, who's worth $3.7 billion, is sitting on the bench with his legs crossed. All this commotion going on in front of him. The dude doesn't even flinch. Mm-hmm. He didn't even uncross his legs. He didn't even lean forward. He was like, I don't have time for this shit. What is happening?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So here's my take. Hayden shouldn't have said it. 100%. Hayden's in the wrong. You can't say that. You don't talk to women like that. You can't do it. Like I said, whether he meant that she's female or not, but he feels like she was talking trash and she provoked him. That's the justification. I'm not saying it is justification, but you can't say it. Don't call women the B word. It's not cool. Mm-hmm. Okay? Number 2.
What if they're being really, really mean?
Doesn't matter. Don't do it.
Really mean.
Doesn't matter.
Really mean.
Also, it's not even creative, bro. Like, at least come up with something more creative.
What could be
There's
an
so
insult?
many better like insults you could give her. I don't know, but like that's kind of low hanging fruit. That's why I don't think that Hayden said it like trying to talk trash. He said it out of frustration.
Okay.
Because he's actually funnier than that.
Okay.
Okay. Second thing, AL, you went after him. You physically crossed the line and went to his bench. So if somebody on his bench whose space that you have invaded tries to hold you back, so to speak, you can't claim that you were pushed because you, again, approached them.
I go back and forth. If someone calls me that, I'll approach them.
Approaching them, look, I am proud of her. Like, stand up for yourself. I don't have any issue for her standing up for herself.
And the other thing I said earlier is these benches, they're like 3 feet apart.
No,
You're literally 3 feet apart.
And we're still doing the stupid switching bench thing.
They need to get rid of that.
I've said it for 3 years.
It is so pathetic.
And again, like, we wouldn't even have that issue.
In basketball, you're 20, 50 feet away. In football, you're 50 feet away. It's a little bit different than just taking a couple steps over, in my opinion, and crossing over there.
Yeah, but she did go and she did get in his face.
Sure.
She got in his face. And again, she has every right to defend herself. But my point is if you're going to go defend yourself and you're going to get in his face, you also have to understand that there could be repercussions of people on his bench trying to diffuse the situation.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't think that there's any issue with that. Now, you can't all of a sudden turn around after that happens and you become a victim and say that he pushed you.
Yeah.
Nobody pushed you. You didn't get pushed. You lost your shit, and that's okay. You defended yourself, and that's fair. But let's not turn around and pretend that you're this little victim. You can't be this 18-year-old woman that you're claiming to be and getting in his face, and then all of a sudden you're back to the 14-year-old girl calling for mom and dad to come defend you.
Yeah.
Choose a side. Decide what it is. We're all proud of you for defending yourself. That's awesome. You have every right to do that. But then you don't get to go and crawl up into fetal and have mommy and daddy come down from the stands, or dad and then mom, and be like, he pushed me. I'll send it to you. It'll be in your inbox. It'll be in your inbox. Like,
does it go to spam folder?
Like, you can't do that. But again, for me personally, I don't want to see anyone ever get like, those words probably shouldn't have been said. Mm-hmm. Those things probably shouldn't have happened. But if you don't think this is good for the sport, you're crazy. If you don't think this is a great rivalry and starts a rivalry.
I mean, it gets clicks for sure, but is this the direction that we want to be heading?
I mean, how many times did you see that fight with Aaron Gordon and James Harden over the weekend?
A ton.
Yeah. I mean, it's people like that stuff. How many times do you see baseball brawls? You seen the one where the dude gets hit and then he freaking karate kicks the catcher and then runs at the pitcher?
Remember the guy that kicks him in the face on the net?
Yeah. Or
in pickleball when he went over?
Yeah. Or, I mean, maybe the most famous baseball fight of all time is Nolan Ryan getting Robin Ventura in the headlock.
I mean, just because it gets clicks doesn't mean it's right, though.
No, it doesn't mean it's right. And like I said, I think that Hayden has some remorse for sure.
Does he have remorse, or he has remorse because he got called out on it?
No, I think he has legit remorse. Hey, dude, look, I know I'm biased but Hayden's a good kid. And Hayden gets fired up on the court, and he knows that.
Yeah.
And I think we all have our moments. And I've said this before. I would rather have someone that's competitive and cares too much than someone who doesn't care enough.
Okay.
Because I think that, that's a better match, and that makes for better competition. But, yeah, I think he has legit remorse. But I also think that he felt like,
I think both are at fault. I think both of them, they egg each other on. I mean, Hayden is well known to trash talk, to chirp, to taunt, to do everything. Emily, also same thing. You can't expect or complain when people do it back, or you can't be mad when people do it back to you if you're doing that in the first place.
The Five's Twitter account fires off this message saying that basically Hayden was upset that Will kept bagging him and went after her. And it was like, well, I think he was upset because she laughed and taunted him after.
Yes, but in in Hayden's defense, and somebody's defense, I'm getting lost here. Hayden does the same thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. But Hayden expects.
And so you shouldn't be mad about that.
No, but you also, if you do it and someone chirps back, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think Hayden.
I think they both do it, and so I think
that's what I'm saying. I don't think Hayden is ever going to talk trash to somebody and then be upset if you talk trash back. Well,
he was just mad at Annalie for doing it back to him. That's why he called her an effing B.
But what I'm saying is, he feels like she started it by laughing at him and basically saying you deserve it.
Sure.
And then he said it back. But what I'm saying is, if Hayden starts it and she says it back, I don't think he's going to be upset by that.
I don't know. I think they're both at fault.
Yeah, but I also think that you can't do the whole he pushed me. I'm sorry, but you lost.
Yes, that's also true.
Look, I'm a big crime junkie guy. I watch a lot of. Let's get into this real quick. I watch a lot of Dateline NBC. Right, and you can't claim self-defense when the other person is walking away and you punch him in the back of the head or you shoot him in the back of the head.
Yeah, but words can be considered act of violence. You can't
claim self-defense when you stab the dude 52 times.
Yeah.
Right? Even if he hits you.
Dude, the world is so petty nowadays. Literally, even a bad look could be considered an act of violence or provoking something.
For sure. And also, one other thing that was
literally
really funny.
Had Hayden not said that at the net, she probably wouldn't have gone over there.
Yeah, that's true. And so did Hayden provoke her? Absolutely. But is she still responsible for her own actions? Sure.
Yeah.
But also at the very end of that, when Ross is turning, he's like, where's the card? Where's the card? I mean, dude, the whole cast of characters in that was spectacular.
There needs to be a recreation.
Now, here's the next question.
Get the owners off the bench.
Anna Bright has to play with Annalie. Is there going to be issues there?
Why would there be?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying they're teammates.
I think they'll be fine.
You think so?
And that's the other thing.
And you know why? Because AB called her the same thing in Mesa. In mixed.
When? I can't remember.
When they played Mesa.
MLP?
No, in PPA.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, she said the same thing. And Fed called her the same thing.
Yeah.
Fed got beat up for it.
Why is that her go-to name?
I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just saying that it's interesting that multiple people have said the exact same thing.
That's all that they can. It's the low-hanging fruit, like you said.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Look, she can be bratty. She says stupid stuff. The stuff she said about Catherine really bugged me, right? But let's be more creative with it.
Real quick, we got to give a big shout out. Guess what ball
things
they were using during this altercation?
They're using the Vulcan.
The Vulcan V Pro Flight, which Vulcan Sporting Goods is a sponsor of the King of the Court podcast.
They are?
Love them. They are the official title sponsor of MLP. They've been used at PPA tournaments and may or may not be continue to be used at PPA tournaments. It's a great ball. The pros love it. It's not too soft. Doesn't get too hard. Right in the middle. If you're interested in using...
the three little bears?
Exactly. Goldilocks zone.
Goldilocks.
If you're interested in using this ball, the V Pro Flight, go check them out at vulcansportinggoods.com and use code KOTC. It supports us and gets you the ball that the pros are using.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's not a better ball out there. So check it out.
Just whatever you do.
How did it hold up in the humidity this week?
It was good.
Great, right? Yeah.
Just don't paint your court a neon green color or a bright
just
orange.
Neon in general.
A neon orange. Is that a color? Or a bright blue or bright
we need
anything?
you need to have muted colors.
Yeah.
I really like the black when they did the black.
Black was cool, yeah.
Other than probably the heat factor, but black was cool.
Okay. Anything else about that matchup? As I said, so I had a lot of small petty complaints about last year about the uniforms, them not matching, everything like that. A lot of that has been cleaned up. I still think they need to get rid of the stupid switching the sides every 6 points with the team.
Switching sides is
I think they need to get the coaches off the bench.
So
there's
do
zero
have a
reason for them to be on the bench.
Well, I think coaches are necessary, but
not coaches, owners and GMs.
So they do have a rule where only one person can be on the court per team, and everybody else has to be behind the bench.
Yeah.
The problem is with MLP is that the owners and GMs sometimes are also the coach.
Yeah.
And these owners pay a lot of money to be on the sideline.
Yeah.
So that's where it's tough. But you also need to know your role.
Do you think referees enjoy MLP or not? And the reason I ask this is because the vibes around MLP, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more energetic. There's a lot more trash talking, whether you like that or not. But if you think this only applies to the players, you're crazy. This also applies to the refs. So players will talk to the refs directly. They'll say, hey, you missed that call, or watch his feet, or like during a point, say, watch for the push off, stuff like that. I know of, there's a lot of stuff I can't say.
No, they hate it. Tyler, they don't like it.
I think they like it.
I think they like it, but I think one thing is like the serve rules are a little bit more lax.
They get to kind of joke around, but I mean, the comments these teams make to these refs, they're pretty funny sometimes.
So,
come on, Howard, call that. Come on, Howard. Howie, come on.
So
Alan, you going to call that foot fault?
Didn't Alan get fired?
Not from MLP, I don't think.
Oh, really?
Well, he was there.
Alan Roman?
Alan Roman.
Oh, really? I thought Don Stanley canned his ass.
He was skinny. MLP's different than PPA.
Alan Roman's looking good.
Yeah.
He likes to make himself center of attention, though. So
Alan Roman can do no wrong.
Everyone's favorite story. So
he can do no wrong.
So we had a 7-on-7 tournament this weekend. Just speaking of referees, and this ref he was terrible. One of the worst refs I've ever seen. But whatever. Our team's very chill. But we weren't playing in this game. We were watching, and this guy starts arguing with the ref. Okay. And he starts screaming at him, and the ref throws him out. And the dude turns around and he says, "You see now, old fuck," like screaming at the ref. And the ref is old. He's an older guy, right? Like most, he's an older guy. And he's like, "You're gone." And the dude starts walking, and it's a long freaking walk, like up this hill. I mean, it's like seriously, like probably a half a mile. And every probably 10 feet, the dude's turning around and he's yelling. And he goes a little further and he turns around and he yells. And I'm like, probably when he's, 300 yards away at this point, he's like yelling. You could barely hear him. And he's still going. And I was like, I looked at the ref. I'm standing by him. I said, "Man, he's got a long way to the parking lot." And he's like, "Seriously, like, you think we're going to be able to hear him?" And he just kept going and going. Like, it was wild.
Sports brings out the best in us, doesn't it?
I was seriously embarrassed. And then he says, the dude, he tells the ref, so the next day, we actually played that team. And they allowed him back, by the way, which I thought was wild. So then I said, I'm surprised they allowed you back because, I'm going to poke the bear a little bit. And he goes, "Yeah, I freaking told that ref to meet me in the parking lot." And I was like, "Really?"
When he was at the parking lot?
Yeah, I was like, I like looked at him and gave him like this weird look. I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And I was like, "Dude, you called him a senile old F word." And I was like, "So what do you get out of beating up some old guy?" And he's like, "I'm just saying, like, and I said, "For what?" And I was just like kind of making fun of him. And I don't think he realized he was getting made fun of. Like he thought he was being tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it just brings out the worst in everybody.
Yeah.
At times. And like you got to keep your cool. And we just saw it like with AL and with Hayden. I think that they both have some regrets. And
the thing I always go back to is it's so interesting that this type of behavior doesn't really happen as much, not even close to on the PPA side versus MLP.
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy. All right, real quick, U.S. Open Pickleball is happening this week as we speak.
Andre Agassi
is partnering up with the GOAT, Annalie Waters.
Oh, I thought you were going to call her something else. The same thing everyone else calls her.
A different animal?
Yeah.
What's that?
Just saying.
They're partnering up for mixed doubles pro, right?
Yeah, they're playing pro, not split age.
What are the chances they win?
So there's some very good teams in that.
Okay.
I think it's going to depend on their draw, but I don't think that they're not going to win it. I think that
when I first saw it, I thought they'd win it for sure.
Really?
Yeah. Annalie won PPA with Jack Sock.
Jack Sock's 10 times better than Agassi.
This was his first tournament.
I know, but he's still better than Agassi.
But
Agassi's 55
there's
years
no
old.
PPA players playing at U.S. Open.
I know, but Chris Hayworth and Amanda Hendry are playing.
Annalie is better than Amanda Hendry. I'm sorry.
I think she is better than Amanda Hendry, but you think that Hayworth and Hendry combined are better than Agassi and Annalie?
I don't think so.
I think they are. I think that, Jilly B and whoever, Jack Monroe or whoever else is in it, could beat them. Yeah, it's going to depend on their draw, but I say no, they don't win it. They might get a bronze.
Would they play the bronze?
I think Andre would want to play the bronze. I think AL, and will they even play it? AL could be traumatized and
I don't know. I would say
injured from the big push heard around the world. Maybe it's a traumatic experience.
A push?
Oh my dude, you know what's going to happen. You know that the next MLP, she's going to have 17 bodyguards.
Good.
She's going to be surrounded.
Get that-
dudes with the ERP Secret Service
Call
guys.
Jilly B's bubble wrap.
Gonna have
Borrow
freaking
it.
like the full suits, Secret Service. That bus is going to be on lockdown, right? I think AJ.
I mean, Lee Waters is an attorney. Lawyer.
I think AJ should probably go after Hayden. Like
to take the ice. Yeah.
Yeah, but also then he could maybe get invited back on the bus. Right? Maybe I should go after Hayden so I can get a bus invite. Say, I got your back, AL.
All right. Anything else?
No, I mean, look, it was fun. MLP, obviously there's some kinks they got to work out, but there's nothing like MLP.
Nothing like it.
I think that it's exciting. I think it's fun. I think we had great matchups.
I was surprised with the traditional scoring. I still thought it was pretty energetic.
It was, but we got to go to 15. We got to get to 15.
Yeah.
I think that's the magic number.
Traditional scoring to 15 or rally scoring to 25.
Or back to rally. Yep, I agree. But I understand the traditional scoring argument, even though I am a proponent.
I think it's more for betting purposes.
Yeah, it is betting and also TV, because you don't have to explain the scoring to the casual pickleball person that doesn't watch pro. They know how to score.
I would say the opposite. You do have to explain the scoring.
But if 30 million people really played pickleball last year, how many of them are watching
30
pro?
million of them are Googling how to score in pickleball.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No. But big shout out to everyone at MLP for putting on quite an event. Are we going to have blue and red courts this week in Columbus?
As long as they're not bright.
They should do white, like White Castle.
Oh, that was the worst.
What if they put
Texas Open did it, 2019, I think. Right in the middle of the court, white. You lose the ball completely.
What if they do the big...
What are these people thinking?
What if they do a big, massive cheeseburger right in the middle of the court? Slider.
All right, so getting into questions, but first and foremost, Jimmy, tell us about Holey and their new giveaway.
Yes, Tyler. So Holey is... Oh, no.
Holey Performance.
My phone just froze.
All right, so Holey Performance, they're running a giveaway.
There we go.
On all 4 of their brand new flavors, and it's super easy to enter. You just follow Holey Performance on Instagram and tag at least one friend, and that's it. That's all you have to do.
What if you don't have a friend?
You can tag Jimmy Miller or King of the Court.
Yeah.
No, you can't do King of the Court. You have to do Jimmy Miller.
No, you have to tag a friend.
Okay.
Tag a friend. You all have a friend. That's it. You can win all of the new flavors, including, did you say including?
Including?
White gummy.
White gummy, which is our exclusive flavor at KOTC.
Yep. And if you order the sample pack, I know a lot of you have done this. Mm-hmm. If you order it this week, it's free. You just have to pay for shipping. Mm-hmm. Shipping's very inexpensive. Yep. You can get white gummy, and they will throw in my favorite, besides white gummy, of course, orange. Tang. I don't know if we're allowed to say Tang because Tang is probably copyrighted, but check it out. Holyperformance.com, KOTC. Yep. We got a lot of white gummy to sell, so let's start pumping them out.
Yeah. Honestly, the weather is getting hot. Look at Orlando. There was this one player I was looking at after one of the matches, and they were just dripping head to toe in sweat.
Scarpa didn't play this week.
He did not. It was a different player.
Was it Rafa and he wasn't playing either?
He was busy getting stuff for Marcella.
Yeah, because she was playing super hard.
Well,
all
it's
those
funny
matches she played in.
That's rude. Leia, her shirt was too small or something or too big, and so she had to use Marcella's shirt.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Said the wrong name.
You think Rafa was like, Layla, you want to go out tonight?
Exactly.
Slide in.
Have a little...
If you're going to act like Sella, I'm going to treat you like Sella.
Wow. Too far, Jimmy. But yes, go check Holey out. It's a really cool giveaway. And to be honest, there might not be a ton of entrants. And so your chances of winning this should be pretty high.
Holey Performance.
Holey Performance. And also, anything on their website, use code KOTC.
Yes.
Okay, getting into the questions. We had quite a few come in, I believe. All right, to begin, we will try to rapid fire these somewhat because this pod is already longer than normal.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody said, shouldn't Annalee have been issued a warning or fine for storming into the other team's bench when she was chasing Hayden? So Jimmy thinks so.
Yeah, I think so.
Me personally, I don't think so.
I mean, a warning's fine, right? Look, here's the reality. Hayden is not going to get fined for anything because if Hayden if they would have to fine Annalee, and Annalee she's the golden child. Mm-hmm. And so Hayden almost like Annalee's reaction actually got Hayden off the hook. Mm-hmm. Had Annalee not reacted and just said, "What did you say?" Hayden probably gets fined. My own opinion.
Okay, there's a lot of questions about should Big H be fined for calling Annalee that word.
Yeah. No. Just let bygones be bygones. No? I mean, I just said that she's not going to get fined. They should, if either they're both fined or neither one is fined. But I don't think so. Maybe you just send them a message and just say, "Hey guys." Now here's the reality is
the thing that, I mean, people would like this, but I'm actually on the anti side of this. I feel like they're going to kiss and make up and be friends probably by now already.
Well, yeah, they train together. They see each other all the time.
Exactly.
Sure they live by each other. But here's where it gets interesting for me is I do think about this is we want this TV deal, right? This TV deal is it's a big thing. If you're on Fox and you've got an audible sound of
an obscenity
like that, like the FCC actually fines. They'll get.
I don't
fined.
know if they do. You listen to NBA, you hear it all the time.
No, they get fined for that.
You do? They do?
Yeah, that's why there's like 7-second delay and stuff like that. Yeah, so they could. So,
because I mean, you listen to basketball or any sports, you can. If you listen closely, you hear a lot of.
Yeah, but like, so I'm just curious if that were to happen, how that would be handled. But I guess we'll see.
All right. Somebody said I would love to hear
TV deal first.
Tyler's. So we answer most of these questions throughout the pod. I would love to hear Tyler's thoughts on the courts because I thought it was super cool to do the host team's colors. I thought the courts looked sick. So as we discussed in the beginning, just looking at the courts, they looked really cool. They looked probably the coolest courts we've ever seen. However, playing actual pickleball, nobody in their right mind would ever want to play on those courts.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like I said, if you're doing like a flyover with a drone, it's like, oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
But actually having to play on it, big mistake.
All right. Somebody said there is so much to unpack from MLP, all the sass, the upsets, and don't forget that bright A court. So we talked about that.
Oh, that brat. AL, is that what you said?
Exactly. Still wondering about KOTC code for BCO. Saved us $150 for Columbus. It should be active now. If it is not, please let us know either in the comments on Instagram or on YouTube.
It will work for BCO.
It should. It should be active now.
Good. So yeah, check that out. Also, I'll find out because I've had people ask about St. Louis because St. Louis is through Ticketmaster and not Tixar. Mm-hmm. So I'll find out about that. I will send a message right now.
Kate Fahey is so cool and unimpressed by ALW and H. She's seen worse in college. Probably.
Worse? Oh, she's seen worse.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they said she seemed worse. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, Kate, but the reality is like I said, Kate's a chirper herself. Kate's a fiery human being.
Yeah.
Like, if someone called Kate that word, she would probably hit herself with a paddle. So,
and then go after them.
Yeah, like she'd probably snap the paddle on her leg and take like the pointy part and go after you.
Dude, so gruesome.
I'm just saying.
Could banning lead tape address the hot paddle issue? No. A lot of these hot paddles, they don't use lead tape at all.
Yeah, they're hot without it.
Do you think BPJ should transition
to a woman
back to the right side?
Yeah, I think he was a lot. Here's the problem. He's not good enough to get good left side partners right now.
Well, I think he is good enough. He's too flaky.
Yes.
And his mental is
That's what I'm saying. So he's not getting like premier partners right now at this stage in his career. So he's not getting premier left siders, which forces him to play more left side.
Mm-hmm. Like me and him, I'd play right with him, and we did well.
Yeah.
And I'd like to play with him more, but he's
that's what I'm saying. But yes, if he could transition into a right side specialist, like like Christian's kind of done for himself, then I think that he could be very, very good. But again, who are the true left side guys out there that would play with him? They're few and far between.
Yeah. Did the new Franklin fail? Saw JW and Hayden using their old paddles.
Oh, I don't know.
I did talk to one of them about why they weren't using it a couple tournaments ago, and they said they were getting used to the new shape.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know why they would have gone back. Maybe they did fail.
Did you see the new Wilson paddle?
I've seen ads on it. I've been getting hammered with ads.
Yeah.
Looks kind of cool, to be honest.
We have a new racket.
Raquette. How do you spell racket?
RACQUET.
RACKET. You're wrong. Racket. Look it up. Absolutely loved the feel of a team hosting. Lots of freebies, and the crowd support was fun. I think that's the model that they're going after, is hosting it in a team city and kind of tailoring
wait till
it.
San Clemente.
Yeah.
There's 9 teams hosting.
Really?
No, it's Black Bears, Bay Area
Mad Drops.
Breakers, Mad Drops, and SoCal.
Huh. I mean, it was cool because the Squeeze had a ton of merch there in Pickleball Central, and it was geared towards Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Squeeze crushed the merch.
Yeah.
They win the merch.
They had a truck filled with fake oranges on the outside. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, see, and then they have like the mascot, Squeezy. Like the Squeeze crush all of that. I mean, it does help that you have NBA owners. But yeah, so we give them credit for that.
Why does Samin come across so douchey? It's like, we know you worked for the NBA, STFU.
Wait, did he work? Samin, did you work for the NBA or did you work for Kevin Durant, who
He did both.
is in the NBA?
Both.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay. Like he was employed by the NBA.
Yes.
Like he got a paycheck from the National Basketball Association signed by Adam Silver.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
Why did you laugh so hard at that question?
I just think people are just bold. That's all. And I'm glad you read it. I would have skipped that one.
Will Jimmy ever post a live actual video of him playing and not in a tank top?
What?
I think they mean to say in a tank top.
You guys don't want to see me play. Like I literally am.
It would have been nice
Terrible.
if Annalise. You guys are wild. The questions you guys put in here are crazy. It would have been nice if Annalise kicked Hayden right in the private parts.
Well, Will already hit him with the ball there.
Did it hit the spot? Was it a big target or small target?
I wasn't. I didn't.
From your experience,
I didn't. Get into details.
is Tyler ready to accept rally scoring is better for MLP?
Yeah. Woo!
Is better for MLP after the least exciting MLP of all time.
You accepted it. You came to conclusion.
I'm okay with it.
You came
But
to conclusion.
I still think traditional is fine. What I'm getting at is I would never want to see rally scoring in PPA tournaments.
That's fair. What if you fall way off and you're 50th in the world? You want rally, don't you? Because that gives you a better chance for an upset.
I would still want traditional. I'm old school. Hayden calling ALW a B, hands down, 2 teenagers fighting at the high school cafeteria. Well, that's funny you say that because neither of them or both of them were homeschooled. So they would not be at a high school.
Didn't Hayden go to school? He went to school. He just graduated early.
Very early,
16-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did go to school.
I thought he was half homeschooled.
I don't know. AL definitely homeschooled. I think AL's I don't, this is not a slight at AL by any means, but you don't, Hayden, you would see him post with his friends and hang out with people. AL, I'm not sure who her friend group is, if she even has one.
Dude, you're trolling a teenager.
No, I'm
How
not.
do you feel about
She's
that?
actually an adult now. But I'm just saying, like,
Is she 18?
But does she have
Is
like
she 18 or 19? I can't remember.
does she have like a friend group?
Is she 18 or 19?
She's 18.
This is awkward.
She's 18.
Yeah, so it's a teenager. We
But I'm just saying she has like a friend group. Does she have one, or is it just her mom and grandma?
don't believe everything you see on social media.
No, when you post your whole life on social media, if she had like a bestie, she would have posted her.
Do you know who I've been following?
She went to Taylor Swift.
It's a little bit creepy.
She went to Taylor Swift with mom and Scott.
Do you know Kai Trump?
Yeah,
I've been following her YouTube videos.
it's weird.
They're great.
It's weird.
They're great. They show a lot of insider to the White House, to the golfing scene.
Did you see any rockets launch in Orlando?
No, I should have gone out there. All right, somebody said the blue and orange colors for MLP courts were terrible. Do you think they will continue with them? I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
I would imagine MLP will give feedback to not do such bright colors, I would think.
Yeah. Okay, this is wild. Hang on. So the league just released an official statement
Okay.
on that Hayden.
Okay. Altercation.
Yeah. I'm almost at a loss here that this is their
Read
official
it.
statement.
Let's go.
A lot of people are asking for the official league comment. So here we go. Number one.
We love it. Keep doing it.
ALW is obviously not an effing B, but she clearly is a badass and wants all the smoke. We respect that.
Wait, this is official? This is not memes?
Nope, this is official. Number two.
What?
Players, please stay on your side of the court.
Yeah, it's hard when you switch every 3 points and
Number
the benches
three.
are 2 feet away.
Players, please keep smack talk appropriate. Thank you and have a wonderful Monday. Go play some pickle. What the
What intern wrote this?
This league, what is happening? What in the world? Is that real? That's MLP's account. Tyler, I don't even know what to say.
Jimmy, speechless?
Wow.
Okay, all right. Somebody said, who is on the premier bench that should be a starter? For example, Krista Getcheva, Michael Lloyd, etc.
For their team?
That's a good question. Yeah,
Or overall, because
I would imagine they're saying overall.
Because I do think that, like, overall, like, Michael Lloyd could start on any challenger team, right?
But we're talking premier.
But if you go premier and you look at all the men's teams in premier, who's Michael Lloyd starting over? I mean,
Maybe
Hustlers or SoCal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those two teams, you probably have bench players that could start over them. I mean, the Hustlers women have not scored a point yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Hannah Blatt and Krista Getcheva and, Marcella Hones, I think that they could probably score a point. So there's a chance that they could, they could start. But other than those two teams, I don't feel like there's
Would Corey come on the pod?
Yeah, 100% he would.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than those two teams, I don't think that there's like a bunch of bench players that are better that are just hanging out. But who is proven he should have been drafted was AJ Kohler.
Yeah, Martin Emmerich wasn't drafted. He was also there.
Yeah, Martin wasn't drafted either. Yeah.
All right, Annalise saying Catherine won because AL was too nice to her.
I know. Can you believe that? I can't even. I mean, it just gives that bratty mentality.
Is MLP gonna keep keeper draft rules again to have more parity in future seasons? We need upsets.
I don't think MLP cares about parity. I think they care about raising money at this point in time, and parity will come eventually.
Got to know what Big H said. We talked about it in depth.
What did he say, Tyler?
You said it. What he said.
Incredible.
When will ALW stop getting a free pass for her antics on and off the court when she starts to lose?
Did we give her a free pass today, or how did we do?
I mean, we kind of called both of them out, I think. I did. You kind of gave Hayden a free pass. Got a soft spot for that.
Yeah, but I think you really
guy.
want to ride on the bus, and you used to play with Lee, and so
I haven't talked to them for ever since we started this podcast. I probably would have had a ride on the bus maybe. All right, let's see. Why is there such a variance in the MLP uniforms? Some look like a giant walking billboard. I like that question.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is we're all trying to make money. And so some of them are just going to sell any spot that they can get for sponsorship. I mean, Brooklyn's new gear is really, really nice, but their uniforms has that massive Humana across the front. But for $250,000, or I don't even know what the number is, but whatever that number is, you would put that across the front of your jersey too. So it's tough because it's a really fine line. So
I actually don't mind the sponsors. There's some that have just crazy pictures, different, like the slice. I don't like that. Like,
is it a pizza?
Yeah, but it's like everywhere.
Yeah, but like, I mean, yeah, they're just trying
but
to
like DC last year, like they had a picture of the skyline or something like that, like all across, like,
I think everybody's just trying to be creative. But I remember years ago, so UFC fighters used to be able to sell their shorts, and they could put whatever logos they wanted on their shorts. And so they would walk into the ring and their shorts would just be plastered.
Yeah.
And I have a buddy, Jan Jorgensen, who fought like kind of lower level stuff. And I remember he told me that his shorts, and this was like lower level fights, he's like, I would get $6,000 to $8,000 just selling logos on my shorts.
Yeah.
And he's like, in the UFC, those guys are probably getting 12 to 20.
Yeah.
But then the UFC didn't like how it looked, and they didn't think it was clean look. And so they ended up signing this Reebok deal, and you couldn't do that anymore. And then they started paying you like appearance, anyways. The point is I think if MLP gets too bad, we may see something. We may see more like limitations on what is allowed.
They already started to do some limitations. I mean, you compare this to 3+ years ago, and people were showing up with the craziest stuff, which is what kind of made pickleball in the beginning. Is crazy personalities from all walks of life were able to come to pickleball and unite. I sound like Steve Kuhn right now.
Yeah, listen to you.
Yeah.
Do you actually have money?
I can raise some. All right, we'll do a couple more. Has the game passed Riley and Matt Wright? Are their styles outdated?
Riley, so against the Ranchers, Onsens and Christian just blew Riley up over and over and over again. Riley doesn't volley very well, and it's.
I will say, in my personal opinion, I think it's a little bit hard to gauge somebody's game just purely on MLP.
Well, I also was told that Riley was sick. Saying he wasn't feeling his best.
I was a little sick. Well, not sick, but injured.
Yeah, and so I don't think he was feeling his best. But Riley, as the week went on, got better. Right? Like, I mean, he had some big mixed wins. He had a couple big men's wins. I mean, they destroyed Zane and Will, who Will is, top 5 player if you ask.
Jim Kloss.
If you ask Jim Kloss and Eric Tice. So, yeah, I mean, I just think but Riley has a very unique style, and the way that you beat Riley is you attack, and you've got to get him in the transition zone because his hands are a little bit slower, and his paddle grip affects his counters.
Okay, this is a good one. I think we've talked about this in the past, but somebody said, why is Zane 10 times better in MLP than PPA?
Because, I mean, some guys like that team. Some guys like that team aspect. But is he 10 times better?
I would say he's better. I mean, I don't know about 10 times, but he's for sure had more success.
What was, like overall?
Yeah.
But what was Zane and Mari's mixed record last year? It wasn't very good. And Zane and Will were 12 and 11.
Yeah, I mean, he gets on good teams. Yeah. And I was telling somebody, to be honest, a lot of the players that are in my situation that are in the lower 15 to 25 ranking, we oftentimes get paired up with good teams because in order to have a good team in MLP, you need a top 5 guy or a top 5 girl, and you need to be able to partner up with them and do well. It's the middle group that kind of gets screwed over.
Well, then didn't Zane the year before have AB on the squeeze? AB, Rachel,
exactly,
and Deckel,
exactly.
I think? Exactly. So, I mean, that's a very, very good team.
For me to be able to partner up with Ben, I feel like I can rise to his level.
Sure.
But if I had to play with just throwing his name out there, Deckel or somebody in that middle group, it would be harder for me to carry that person rather than for me to rise up to that level.
Yeah, and then I mean, even Zane's,
Zane, I mean,
and I'm not like trying to diminish Zane. I think he's a good player, but even his other championships, like I think he had one when it was Paris Todd was the only, there was none of the PPA players were playing, and then things like that. So I do think Zane's a great MLP player, and he's a great singles player. That helps him. He's good in Dream Breakers for 4 points.
Yeah,
but it's not like there's this massive disparity between his PPA and his MLP.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say, is there anybody? The only disparity that I see between PPA and MLP is like the opposite. Like Ben is worse, but like, is there anybody that you think?
Rafa, Julian.
Yeah, Julian was great.
Those players do very good in high energetic situations.
Yeah. So,
all right. Anything else, Jimmy?
No, I mean, good week. I'm excited for Columbus.
Yeah, we are not able to get. Well, maybe I don't know. We'll try to get a preview out.
Yeah, we're interviewing
the documentary people. What was it called? Dreambreaker documentary people. So,
yeah, Dreambreaker, the director.
Yes,
Ashley.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm excited about that.
All right, Jimmy. What are you doing this week?
Nothing. I'm doing podcasts. I'm going to Orlando.
Just showing up 45 minutes late to wherever you go.
Hey, listen, this is a good pod. Hour, 46 minutes.
Hey, almost as 46 minutes. That's probably about how late you were.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. If you made it this far,
not that serious.
Please do us a big favor. Hit that like and subscribe button.
Quit being an F&B.
You're fined.
Are you good? You're speechless.
Yeah, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I have to carry the show with all these sponsors and everything like that. I'm letting you do all the sponsors next time.
Hey, there's U.S. Open is on streaming.
I'm excited. I actually really do want to watch Annalie and Andre.
Yeah.
I think it'll be prime time.
When
Pickleball.
do they start?
I would imagine Wednesday probably Thursday or Friday.
Did you know Simone's playing with Jamie Onsons? Eric's dad?
Yeah.
In split age.
Yeah. Not pro?
No, just split age. I think they'll do well.
Oh, they'll win it.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, thanks to Holey. Thanks to Vulcan.
This is bad.
Thanks to the Picklr. Thanks to Pickleball Central. Thanks to Stack.
Next.
KOTC. Thanks to Tyler.